Hello and welcome, my dear skill modelers, to my small hobby YouTube channel. My name is Toma and today we're going to be taking a look at this. Neat, isn't it? This, ladies and gentlemen, is a very beautiful scale model in 1/24 scale from the company Ebbro. Last year I reviewed their DS19 version of the Citroën, but this year, this is a new one, so 21. It has over 100 parts and it's what I would like to call as a luxury model simply because of its price. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pretty pricey model, ranging from what I would say 50 to around almost 70 euros in some cases. But is it worth the money? Well, we're gonna find out in this day video. As you will see when we open the box up, there is hardly anything that it's really tragically wrong with this model kit, apart from a few minor things but those are more of a nitpicking things. Everything is made to just a very high standard, and even though it has a black and white manual, it does feel a little bit premium. The pricing of this model might have to do something with the fact that this is a licensed build, so a licensed scale model from Citroën itself, and that they probably take a cut from it. This model car is probably not for the newbie, but an intermediate or higher level modeler can tackle this kit in my opinion. So without going into too much detail on just a talk portion of the video, let us take a look inside the box. Behold, the Citroën DS21. This is a brand spanking new model from Ebbro, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Yes, some of you might see this little sticker here that says 63 euros. Oh yes, it's not a very particularly cheap model, but it does show in the quality. I mean, this is I believe a Japanese company that just makes absolutely wonderful models, and the plastic is pristine, the instructions are great. Basically, instructions are like Tamiya's, very similar to Tamiya's anyway. But as you can see, the box is pretty hefty, very thick, and there's lots of detail on this model kit, as you will see in just a moment when we open this baby up. For those of you who are just listening, well, this is a Citroën DS21. It is 63 euros and it's 1/24 scale. Yes, it's really expensive, but it's really great. You can get it a little bit cheaper, but they're not that cheap anyway. And it's licensed actually by Citroën, so yeah, probably that's one of the reasons that it's so high in price. So let's just open the box and see the bits inside. Yes. Right, so I've opened the box previously up beforehand because I had to undo the staples and the end of the bags. But this is basically what you get inside once you open the box. It's just a lot of plastic, like per usual. Everything is unassembled, and let's just go through every single thing, shall we? Here is the body. The outer shell, the skin, it's really great. The plastic is kind of flexible, very sort of thinnish, but it's really well made. You can see a little detail on the back here with a sign for the Citroën logo and the fuel cap, well, the fuel cover anyway, and of course the slots for the trim that go around the Citroën. There's no like seam lines or stuff. Maybe this here on the like this edge in the corner and here on top, but I must check to see if this is the feature of the car or not, but I don't think that it is. That this is just a mold process. So you probably, yeah, okay, a little bit tidy, but okay, that's basically it. Let's move on. One of the more fascinating things about these Ebbro cars is their clear parts. I mean, look at those. I've taken this one out of the bag because I just gotta show you this. It's like super clear. It is super clear. Look at this. I'll put some text somewhere. Okay, I'll use this. So you can see, if I go like, if I put, see the window, back window, it's a little bit distorted, but it's really clear. It's like super clear. Look at that. You can clearly see there's no smudging, there's no distortion whatsoever, and it's for all the plastic surface, well, except for the lights. But it's really clear. Look at that. and the front windscreen. It's super nice. So it shouldn't mess this one up too much. Okay, next on the list are the tires, and Citroën has like 5 tires, so 1 spare and 4 regular. We have some poly caps for obvious reasons for the tires, and we got some rubbers for the interior build. The thread is fantastic. Look at that. It's just fantastic. Super nice, super clean. There's like hardly any evidence that this has been molded. It's like a professional tire. You don't get any advertising of the tire itself on the sides, but the thread and the way it's made, it's absolutely fantastic. How they managed to do this in this scale without leaving any sort of mark like the other manufacturers tend to do is beyond me. The elusive chrome bits, and this car is surely not short of any of them. As you can see, there's like plenty of them. Look at that, there's me, look at that, there's me in the camera, yay. Yeah, like per usual, I comment that it's, chrome parts are make or break for many manufacturers for the scale models, and this one is no exception. The chrome finish on this is not as thick as in like Revels or Italiers. It's fairly light, but not as light as, for instance, Fujimi's. Fujimi's, I think, is a little bit better than this. You probably can get away with using the chrome bits that are already chromed, because like this little handles for the cranks for the for the side windows. Oh my god, for the side windows, yeah, you can glue them in place and you won't be able to see the cut mark because you're going to be gluing it in. But on the bumpers, it's always a little bit tricky because look at that, it's still a little bit thick. See if it focuses. Okay, so if you snip this away, you'll probably be able to see bare plastic. So if you have a chrome pan for touch-ups, that's okay, but if you don't, well, the judgment is still out there. Basically, you have to judge for yourselves. Like the handles are also very well done. Look at that. See? For a lot of pieces, you can get away, like mounting them as they are, and you won't be able to see the little cuts. But some pieces do require you to be more diligent. Okay, so this is the first of the white sprues. Actually, there's just 2 white sprues and 1 black one. And the plastic is the same as the body. It's very soft plastic, very malleable plastic. It's not overly thin, but it's soft. It feels soft anyway, and it's super smooth. So that's not a bonus because, of course, the surface of the car, you won't need to do a lot of sanding and priming. As for the attachment points, as you can see clearly from the parts that are on here, they're okay, apart from the bonnet and the roof. These 2 attachment points are, I'll bet, they could have been better, because it's still a little bit of a sanding, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest. Maybe this one, because it's a little bit on the edge and you'll probably have to sand it. And if you screw it up too much, well, it's gonna show. But I don't think that this is like that big of a deal. I'm again nitpicking here, and I'm trying to find something wrong, but I can't find a lot of things wrong because most of the attachment points and the parts are absolutely fantastic. I'm zooming in and out so you guys can see all the glory of this model. So we got the wheels and the manifold, and we got some side intakes, and this, I think this is the air intake cover, and the exhaust and the horns. So this cool horns are really cool. And these holes, of course, are just for the side fittings, so don't worry about it. You won't be able to see them from anyway because you have the internals as well. So yeah. This is the last of the white sprues. It's all the internal bits of the car. It's really self-explanatory, really. You can see the seats and the inner side, so the cockpit area, as you might say in the aviation term. There's a little bit of a footrest here. It's barely visible, I hope you can see it. And the surface, on the bottom surface, here it's a little bit textured, it's like circular. I don't think I can show you. Oh yeah, you can see, look at that. It's like circled out, like somebody's been just going on with some rough circles. But it would be really good to do like a floor mat, or maybe do flocking, if you have flocking powder. So that would be a really good one. The seats are also very pretty. I mean, they're not like wow pretty, but you know, they're nicely defined, very chunky, bulky. Of course, we have the door covers, the inner door lining, which is also very good. And the attachment points here are also very well done. I'm using my American accent now. Okay, so the control surfaces, well, the controls on the steering column. And of course we got, what's this? Oh yeah, this is the dashboard. The dash. Let me just take you around, see the dashboard. What? Okay, can't do it like that. We'll do it like this. See the little radio and the little knobs and switches. So yeah. And this here is the last sprue that contains the mechanical bits of the car. Mainly the engine and the drivetrain in the bottom part of the car. So yes, also very well made and designed, and you know, just absolutely fantastic. It looks like there's been scuffing here from the manufacturer. Like this is like scuffing. It's textured, but it's not like wow. Anyway, so this is the engine and the cooler and the brake drums and, you know, the arms and all that good stuff that's making up the car. So I'll just take you around to see the engine and transmission. They're of course made from two parts. You just glue them together. It's like usual. You never really build an engine in a car like you do in a motor. Maybe that's because it's really pointless, and unless it's a much bigger scale model where that engine can come into detail. But it's really well designed. It can give you a really good representation of the actual thing. Got the drive belts. And little fan. The fan blades are okay. Actually, they're okay. I mean, there's a little bit of a flash, but it's not that bad. Like again, I'm nitpicking here. I don't want to nitpick anymore. We got the shifter. We got the exhaust manifold. What else? Oh, the bottom side of the car, like. So it's pretty flat. It's not that exciting to be honest, but you know, it's good. So yeah, that's basically it. Now it's time to see the decals and the manual. So in this model kit, you get 3 decal sheets of paper. Each of them have their own thing. As you can see here, we have the license plates, dashboard elements, and some warning signs for the internal engine bay, I believe. They're very well printed. They're very shiny. They have a very shiny edge to it. And then we have some trim bits that are basically just chrome bits that you have to stick on the side of the car, like, you know, around the front lights. I'm guessing the window frame, and of course the side mirrors and stuff. Yeah, it can get really hectic if you want to leave a fingerprint here and there. And then of course we have the smallest one, which is this one. It has all the logos for the DS model. So the last thing that we have here is the all-important manual. It's a fold-out manual just like Tamiya's, but it does seem to be printed on a much more quality paper. It has like this very soft feel to it. It's like Anyway, it's a black and white manual. You can read the history of the car in the front, and then of course it opens like so into many pages. It folds out. So, you know, the breakdown of the sprues and the stuff and the things that you don't need. So you don't, because I think that they're making this, using the parts for something else. And of course we have the engine build, which is pretty straightforward and simple. This is probably the most simplest part of the car. And then we have, of course, the rest here where you attach the other bits on the engine. And oddly enough, you start with the dashboard, and then you move on to other stuff. And here we go, the bottom portion. Flip you around, and we're already on the interior here. And with that, it's done, yeah? And we're basically left with a car, which is done. So, yeah. That's been the review. Now it's back to me. That is it, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. The Citroën DS21 has been reviewed in full. I would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing and sharing. And I will see you next time. Au revoir.